Lexington Local taking a twist. We are now going to start talking to people who are living their best and fullest life and are AKA seniors.
Yeah.
And our first delightful person to speak to is Karen Dahl. She's the grandmother of someone I know and hold dear to my heart who bakes, and we want to hear about your life. Tell us.
I'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
I was very fortunate that in my time we had senior Cambridge. That was the equivalent to today's 11th grade.
Okay.
And our papers used to, I was in Delhi, our papers used to come from Cambridge in UK. They were sent from there and then we used to write and then they were sent back there to be corrected.
Wow.
And for that money was taken from us obviously, the airfare they called it, for the papers.
That's interesting.
And after that I did my graduation in English honors. And then I did my masters in English.
Okay.
And then it is called in India B.Ed, Bachelor in Education. So that is mandatory training course. You have to qualify for that, then only you can become a teacher.
Okay.
And I did that, and then 28 years I worked in a college. I was a principal of that college. I had 5,000 students under me.
Okay, describe college, like a
college
like we would know
here.
Yeah,
College you see in India is different levels are there. And I was in charge of a college where we call it the school grade 5th to 8th. And 9th and 10th were high level.
Okay.
And 11th and 12th were called as junior college. So after 12th, you are eligible to go for any course. Architecture, law, medicine, scientists, chartered accountancy, finance, economics. 12th is the eligibility. And after that, there are entrance tests. Each has a different entrance test. Each field, science, commerce, arts are segregated. Each has a different field.
So you were a principal for 28 years?
I was principal, and then when I retired in 2002, my management refused to leave me, and they requested me, all your 3 daughters are well settled and all, you don't have any liability on you. Only my husband and I were there, and we want you to still spare at least 3-4 hours every day to come and work. And my husband said, you will go and work there on one condition, and because he also retired, he was mechanical engineer. And he said, your condition should be, do not accept money. At this stage of life, we don't need money. Our children are well settled, we have a house to stay in, and we are getting pension. Ours was a government job. So don't work for money now. So when I suggested to my management, they were first shocked, but then they accepted my reasoning. And so for 18 years, I was the head of the vocational studies. By vocational studies, we mean conducting IQ tests. IQ is intelligence quotient test. And you'll be very surprised to know those tests we are importing from US. And each test is of 6 hours. 3 hours duration in 2 parts. 3 hours the child will do after 1 hour gap, 3 hours. And they are all objective, totally objective. So we have to give an undertaking to the US government that we will not leak this out. That test will remain under us, it won't get out of our college. So I was conducting that test for 9th graders. Because after that, now that test covers your full personality. Emotional, psychological, mental, academic, non-academic, activities, general activities, sports, religious, spiritual. I mean, it's a total personality coverage. And the child, it took me half an hour to correct each paper. And after that, I would come to the conclusion, the child wants to become a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer or a commerce.
How true was it?
Huh?
How true was it? Was it
I'm,
really?
I'm coming to that point.
Okay.
And 98% it used to be true.
Oh.
We used to have a very big fight with the parents. Because now the father is a doctor and his son's report shows he wants to be an engineer. So the father would come and fight with me, you're not guiding my son, you're misguiding him. I want him to I have a nursing home. I want him to take up that after me. So we used to have big fights and it take me a very long time to convince the parents. But finally I said, you are working for your children, you are living for your children. Why don't you see the children's interest first? Then I had to explain to them in another way. I said, I call education as a triangle, the three sides. One is the teacher, one is the student, and one is the parents. All three have to be linked very close, then only we will get the right results.
Did you prescribe by that test for your own children?
No, this test came into existence after 94.
So you let your kids be whatever
My
they
kids
wanted
told
to
me,
be.
I have 3 daughters, and
Yeah.
very nicely they told me, Mummy, we are not going to become a teacher. It's so boring, you're teaching the same subject, English, for so many years. I said,
Okay.
but I get different students,
Right.
and each student is a different person. So I told her, okay. And my eldest daughter is a computer engineer. Second one, she went into commerce. She did a master's in commerce.
Uh-huh.
And the youngest one is Jyotsna. She went into pharmacy.
Okay.
So all three had different fields. I never pressurized them. I told them, you do what you like. I'm by your side. I'm there to finance you. That's it.
Nice. That's
And,
pretty good.
And that, I feel very happy that in India it's a male-dominated society even now. But fortunately, my in-laws and all were very supportive. My mother-in-law never had in the mind that I have 3 daughters only like that. So they were all supportive, and my husband being an engineer, he also wanted to educate, and my father was in the administration service. So he gave me one piece of advice: educate your daughters nicely, number 1. And number 2 is learn to be a good listener. And number 3 is never use the words I forgot. I have educated you. If you have a tendency to forget, why don't you keep a diary and note down everything you have to do? When you say I forgot, you are showing that your personality is not up to the mark. My education has not brought in the desired results. He was very particular about that. Never use these words, I forgot.
So did you worked obviously while you were raising your family? How
Yes,
did that work?
my 3 daughters, the best part is 7:10 in the morning the bus would come. My 3 daughters and myself, we would board the bus. Our timings were the same. 6:40 the bus would come. 7:10 to 12:45 was our college hours, school hours, same. We would come back home, go together, come back together. So everything is synchronized. I did not have a problem of daycares at all. We would go together and come back together. So in that way I feel God has blessed me with all these facilities. I don't have to worry that today the daycare is closed, where will I leave my children? All those things I did not have to face. And I could do justice to the children, whatever food they wanted to eat. But at that time, children were very different. Whatever food I cooked, they would never say, I don't want it. Now today's children, somebody wants Mexican, somebody wants Chinese, somebody wants continental, somebody wants McDonald's, somebody wants burger, this, that. In our time, these things were not there. So that's why it was very smooth sailing for me. Cooking and all was no problem. And my children also never troubled me in any way and all.
You're lucky.
So that way, I feel grateful to God that God has blessed me. And the best part is all my 3 son-in-laws, they're all IT persons. That is a common factor. They're all IT. Their name, all the 3, the name starts with S.
Oh.
Soumya, Cher the youngest one, and middle one Sandeep. That's so much common they have. And they really take a lot of care of me. I come every year to US. My second daughter is in Virginia. She has 2 sons. The eldest one has just joined University of Maryland. he's in our second year computer science, and the second son is in 10th. And here Eva and Krishna, my two granddaughters, they are adorable. They are crazy for me, I'm crazy for them.
Nice. So you've lived a good life. Is
Yes.
there anything you would have done differently looking back?
No, when I look back, I feel the thing is our daddy taught us all these things. So we were all very systematic, we were all very organized. We never believed in doing things at the last minute. My daddy says, if you have to travel tomorrow, I want to see your backpack today.
Okay.
So we got into that habit to do everything in a very well-planned manner. And my daughters had the same habit. They would do everything, plan everything nicely, and nothing was done at the last minute. Everything was pre-planned. Whether it is finance, holiday. In 1999 we went on a tour of Europe and US. My eldest daughter was here in Boston. She told me, Mommy, we are working, husband and wife. We can't show you states, US. So you take a tour. So we took a joint tour from India. We covered Europe, and then West Coast, then East Coast, Niagara Falls, everything.
Wow.
At one go we saw.
Wow.
So that now when I come, I don't want to go anywhere sightseeing. I've seen enough of US. I want to spend time with my family.
Oh, that's nice. Well, thank you for your time. This was fun.
Hey, it's a pleasure for
Yeah.
me. It's so nice, when I come here, I always tell my friends in India, I don't believe I'm in US. I see so many Indians around. Indian restaurants are there, Indian stores are there, all spices, everything is available. Now I need not bring anything from India.
Oh.
Everything is available, and all standardized things. There's no question of any substandard stuff, substandard spices and all. Everything is available, branded ones. What I use in India, my children are using the same here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it's so nice now
Yeah.
to see that my daughters, they have no problems, and they can make Indian food according to their taste.
Did you teach them how to cook?
Actually, my attention was, I concentrated on them. I used to tell them, your aim is to study, get good marks, and they were all very good in studies. Kitchen is my domain.
Okay.
There's no need for you to come to the kitchen because I'm there. Why should you come to the kitchen?
Okay.
I got this training from my father. We were in a joint family, and my eldest uncle, the head, he said, 2 servants were there. He told the servant, don't allow any lady to enter the kitchen. And my grandmother will howl. How can you run a house without the ladies going to the kitchen? So my uncle said, I will show you how to run. You have 5 ladies in the house, joint family. You will trouble the servants so much. One will say this, one will say that, one will say that. So keep away. And he told the servants, stand outside the kitchen and ask them what you want to make today. Don't allow them to enter. So a kitchen outside, he would stand there. What do you want? Tell. But we could not enter the kitchen. So I was brought up in that manner. And same thing I told my daughter, there's enough time for you for cooking and all. I will teach you and all. But for the present, no need to come to the kitchen. I can manage.
That's a nice way.
Yeah. That is, and now you see, when I see them, I'm so surprised. They can cook everything. They've learned everything.
They did?
Yeah. All sides of, because, the Indian friends over here, India has got many states, so many languages and many types of food. There is immense variety. So by interacting with their friends, they have picked up North Indian food, South Indian food, Western food, Eastern food. So now I'm so surprised they can make anything. Sometimes I feel they're much better than me.
We won't tell them.
See, it's nice to see that your children are, they are not complaining, Mommy, what shall we do? Nothing, no complaints. Okay? And here when I come here, there is a very busy life, I'm telling you, compared to our India. Because India, we have got lots of manpower. In India, still you see, though we have become very prosperous and all, but still in the villages and all, people are not educated. We get servants which you can afford to keep. And now our aim is to educate their children so that they don't become servants.
Mm.
My servant which I have, she has 4 daughters. So I'm responsible for their education and all. I help them a lot.
Mm.
And fortunately, the second one has become a graduate. And I have got her a job also with my friend.
Mm.
So slowly the next generation, slowly in India, the same problem will be there like in USA.
Mhm.
They'll become so costly that everybody cannot afford it.
Mm.
As yet, you see, the labor ministry is trying to formulate a rule like in US per hour, wages per hour. So far, it is not per hour.
Mm.
So when wages come per hour, then these people will also be able to come up in life.
Mm.
But one thing good in India is that we all do a lot of social service. We all retired senior citizens. We are involved with lots and lots of it. The school dropouts, we buy a sewing machine and teach them stitching.
Mm.
And the children who cannot afford books and all, we give scholarships to them, we give books to them, uniform, in the rainy season, umbrellas, raincoats, water bottles, which they cannot afford. So like this, and then we identify. Now we are linked with orphanages. So in an orphan you can stay orphanage only till the age of 18 years. After 18 you have to go for a job and we help them to get a job. And when they get married, we make, like here you have the registry system for marriage. There we make a list of what a couple requires to run a house. And that list we circulate among our friends. So you can pick up anything on it. There's no compulsion. Crockery, cutlery, household goods, bedspreads, towels, bed sheets, TV, whatever minimum. So we all friends decide. And those who cannot select, those three will look after the food part. At the wedding, food will be served. That they will manage. So this is something we are doing a lot. And we feel very happy. And then we tell them, keep in touch with us. Tomorrow you have children, for delivery you want medicine, doctor's advice. We are by your side always. We are throughout your life, you are with us. And don't hesitate to ask for help. Whatever help you want. Since we are all retired now, people, we have lots of time on our hands.
Right.
Our children are well settled, most of our children are abroad. So like that we like to do this type of work. We delegate duty. You do this, I will do this. And the writing part, editing part, sending to the paper and all, that is my duty because my subject was English.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's so interesting. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
It's
and
nice
one
to
thing
hear
what
about
I
your
really
life.
like about America is the system of education here. It is very different from our system. What I see, but when I see my granddaughters coming and telling me what is happening in the class, I think the biggest advantage you have over us is the number of students per class. You have only 18, whereas we have 60.
Wow, that's a lot.
60 students per class.
Wow. Yeah.
And international schools have got 18 and 20, but they are so costly, very few people can afford to send their children to international schools. There the fees is so high, it's not possible. But now with the IT industry expanding so much and so much of advancement in India in all fields, now the salaries are very good, especially teachers' salaries have shown a remarkable growth. What I used to get and now what the teachers are getting. And when I see that, I personally feel here teachers' salaries are not very high. I don't know, I may be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
Because compared to the purchasing power of the dollar and the purchasing power of the Indian money, salaries in India are pretty high.
yeah, good for them. Good
And
for you.
when you see the dollar over here, I mean, for example, if the labor rate is $15 per hour, and when you multiply by rupees, it works out to so much. Because present rate of dollar is 80 rupees for $1.
Interesting.
So there the labor is still cheap, but job opportunities and educational institutions have increased like anything. And the government is trying its best, and especially for senior citizens after Corona, the government has done a lot of good work.
Yes.
Those who are below poverty line, we call BPL, below poverty line people, they are given a subsidy every month to run their house. They are given grains at very low prices. So that, in that matter, the government is really doing very good work. But like USA, the income tax rates have gone up. So
Right.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.